All right, what's up, guys? So I've decided to do a quick live stream here this Monday morning. So I'm going through the markets and I got some stuff I wanted to show you guys. So I'm thinking, why not do a live stream and update you guys on what I'm watching. So let's take a look at Bitcoin, and we're going to be looking at the legacy markets. The S&P 500 is going to be a focus right here. I'm going to try to get a good feel of what the sentiment currently is. Are we in a risk off environment or a risk on environment? Are we in a bull market or a bear market? All right, so let's start off with looking at this S&P 500 chart right here. So currently I'm watching this. This is a chart that I posted on Twitter a while ago, and also I've looked at this with together with Dirk from PrimeXBT Academy. By the way, guys, if you want to support me, you can join PrimeXBT using the link in the description below. Sign up using that link and use the code LIBS42 to get up to 7K deposit bonus. There's also a code right there where you get up to, not up to, you actually get 25% discount on your fees. So definitely check that out. It's a great exchange where you can trade crypto and Forex on the same platform using the same account, and you can use crypto as collateral. So very, very interesting combination. All right, so what I'm seeing right here is obviously we have the S&P 500 getting rejected at that trend line right here. That trend line was created connecting these two highs right here. So you can see that that trend line comes in right here, the third retest of that trend line right there. You have a pretty decent daily bearish engulfing candle on that trend line, complement with the short RLZ measured from that high to that low. And you also have the 200 simple moving average, this white one right here. And I was looking at this trend right here and the break above that high, and I was thinking, you know what, it kind of looks like there's a potential bullish break in the market structure here on the S&P 500. But then I saw that trend line and I was thinking in terms of, this being a high, this being a lower high, and this being another lower high. So we're just in a massive downtrend basically. And what needs to happen for the S&P 500 to, and I'm trading crypto and Forex, but I'm watching the S&P 500 because it's a very good indicator of where risk is heading, right? And Bitcoin does follow the equity markets quite nicely, right? So we saw this rejection here on the S&P 500. We're coming down and we're approaching the daily 20 exponential moving average, confluent with the local long RLZ measured from that low to this high right here. So what I'm thinking is, if Bitcoin, if the S&P 500 bounces here and then starts moving up towards that trend line and breaks out, then yes, we might actually be seeing a bullish break in market structure, and a major one at that. So we might actually have a bull market happening. By the way, guys, if you're watching this live, please remember to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel if you like these live streams where I update you guys on the crypto and the legacy markets. And of course, you can also sign up to my newsletter, which is available using the link in the description below, where I send out one weekly newsletter on Friday. It's always going to be free forever, so definitely check that out. All right, so we have that's basically what I'm watching, right? So in this week, it's crucial that S&P 500 bounces here if we're going to have any chance of a possible bull market. Now, this rejection on the S&P 500 end of last week caused a dramatic dump on Bitcoin. I need to say, right? So it's quite dramatic. This one right here that happened on I believe Friday, right? So quite the nasty dump here on Bitcoin, which kind of, I first watched S&P 500 here, and we saw that rejection up here, but Bitcoin didn't really do much, right? So I thought, it's weird that Bitcoin is showing some relative strength versus the S&P 500, but then we had that clear rejection right here on the S&P 500, which just caused Bitcoin to absolutely destroy that local uptrend. So we are now we're now seeing that relationship that we've been seeing for such a long time, with Bitcoin following the S&P 500. This uptrend right here, and the fact that the fact that Bitcoin didn't dump directly when the S&P 500 did so, might be because of the Ethereum merge happening next month, I believe, right? So there might be something kind of propping prices up in the Bitcoin world right now with that Ethereum merge. And maybe this dump right here tells us that the hype might be over. The merge for Ethereum might be a sell the news event. Because honestly, do you guys really think that the crypto market is going to explode all of a sudden because of the Ethereum merge? It's probably priced in. It's probably going to be a sell the news event if it haven't already happened, right? So looking at Bitcoin right here, we have a very interesting area right here. That this is the area to watch this week right here. So first of all, we have a horizontal level going through this area right here, and I also think it might actually be the 50% line right here, which kind of adds to the motion that we might actually still be in a range. Check that out. It's actually in perfect confluence with the 50% range where I draw the fib. So this is a fib, just a fib tool with a simple template with the 1, the 0, and the 50% fib right here, which is a good way of trying to find the range EQ of a range. You draw it from the low to the high. Here's the range EQ, the midpoint, the 50% level. So it actually adds to the idea that Bitcoin might actually just be ranging right here, and we might be doing so for quite a long time. Because if you look at the higher time frames for Bitcoin, let me save this chart right here. So I'm just going to make a copy, and I'm going to name this S&P 500 bull and bear, right? We're going to save that. We're going to go back to Bitcoin, because I want to be looking at why can I not do that? What's happening? I don't know what's going on. That's weird. Let's reload it to see if this happens. All right, so I cannot open. I don't know what happened here. I can't type in anything. Can I do that here? I can. All right, so let's go to Coinbase, right? Let's go to Coinbase where we have a cleaner chart. Let's remove all the moving averages. So the reason why I think we might be ranging here for a while is because we have the we're currently in the long RLZ measured from 0 to 69K, which is basically the whole price of the history of Bitcoin. So we're currently inside the long RLZ right here, and as I've showed you, the range right here is going to be this one right here, and you can kind of see how we're testing the midpoint of that range right now, the range EQ, which is also confluent with the 0.702. So it's a very good area for Bitcoin to kind of start ranging. It's a very good accumulation range for Bitcoin, and this is why I'm actually accumulating Bitcoin and Ethereum around these levels right here, because I do think that a high time frame bottom is probably going to be put in somewhere inside this long RLZ right here. So it kind of adds to the idea of this being high time frame long-term accumulation for Bitcoin and crypto assets right here. However, it's very important that we watch what happens when or if Bitcoin, the S&P 500 drops below this level right here. What if we see this from the S&P 500? What if we test these lows on the S&P 500? Well, at that point, we're probably going to break down on Bitcoin, and we're probably going to either test these lows or actually break below these lows for a possible test of the lower part of the long RLZ, which is around 15K. So even with a drop down to 15K, we're still inside that long-term, long high time frame, long RLZ. So it's very interesting and very important that we watch the relationship between the S&P 500 and Bitcoin. Let's go back to Bitstamp right here with the original chart. So that's what we're watching this week for Bitcoin. So this level that we're currently trading inside right now is important to watch this week. If we break below this current zone that we're having on Bitcoin right here, if we break below this level, we're probably going to see some pretty strong moves to the downside, and that is a clear sign of weakness if Bitcoin breaks below 20.8 or 20.8, clear sign of strength, weakness. And a clear sign of strength would be a reclaim of the weekly open, and that weekly open comes in at around 21.5. Let me get some coffee. Check this out, guys. I'm going to show you something. My good friends over at TradingView have finally put me one step closer to completing my life goals. Check this out. It's a TradingView mug. Oh, god damn, that's hot. Have you guys seen... I'm not going to go into that. I've been on... Oh my god, there's some weird people out there. So I've been on TikTok and watching videos of all these people talking about different pronouns, right? And I saw this lady talking about how she identified as a frog. Completely normal. Like, it's, hi, I'm a frog. Like, it's the most normal thing in the world. And it had like hundreds of thousands of views, and it's like, is that the new normal? I don't know, man. Am I getting old, or is the world just turning batshit crazy? I don't know what the fuck's going on. Anyway, I do identify as a bull, and I'm trying to work out what my pronouns as a bull should be. I'm thinking I want to, like, it should be probably bulla. So next time I order a coffee, I'm thinking about maybe perhaps ordering it in third person, talking about myself as a bull, and specifically a Bitcoin bull. And I'm going to record that, probably make a TikTok video, and let's see if it works. I mean, maybe they're going to be like, oh, right, yeah, of course, like, it's just normal. I don't know, man. Like, it's weird. Anyway, yeah, Frog Lady's new black, yeah. Right, what's up, Mark? Hope you guys hope you're doing good this fine Monday. Not fine Monday. So yeah, all right. So when I'm doing the Monday market update, I want to get a feeling for what's the risk sentiment. So you have three type of risk sentiments. Basically, you have risk on, risk off, and I guess neutral. And risk off is very simple, right? Very simple. And this is important that you guys understand. You should really understand the relationship between risk off and risk on. So what is a risk on environment? Well, a risk on environment is when... Let's make my face very big because this is important. I have oh man, I got toothpaste on my t-shirt. God damn it. All right, let's make it smaller again. A risk-on environment is where investors are feeling confident that they feel confident. They want to use their capital to invest in riskier assets because they believe that the economy is going well, and the value of that investment is going up with the economy. And also, risk-on environment is when the interest rates are low. It's easier to borrow money. Money is cheap, so you can borrow money, invest that money, and you don't have to pay as much for that money, right? A risk-off environment is where risk assets are performing badly. The sentiment within the investor sphere, if you will, is pretty bad, pretty low. A lot of investors don't want to invest their money because the interest rate might be going up. You have money being more expensive to borrow, and it's just an environment where institutions and bigger investors are more fearful and they're putting more money in cash, right? And then you have a neutral where it's like in the middle, right? And usually you have risk on or risk off, right? So currently we are seeing risk assets moving quite bearishly to downside. You have Bitcoin, which is a major risk on assets, not risk as, it's a risk asset. So a major risk on asset, which means that it's in a risk on environment, the bull market, it performs well while, for example, the US dollar is a safe haven asset. So it's in a bear market, the US dollar might actually perform quite well because because people are saving their money in USD, right? And because it's a fairly safe asset, it's backed up by the world's strongest army. You don't want to fuck with the American army, right? So it's a pretty safe asset, right? So when people are fearful, they park their money in safe assets, which you'll see here. Looking at the the dollar US dollar currency index, the DXY, you'll see here that it's probably moving. Yeah, look at that. It's in a insanely strong bull market right now. You see that it bounced inside the local RLZ, got the daily 50 EMA. That trend line is just exploding to the upside, right? Looking very, very strong. And then you have risk on assets like Bitcoin and the S&P 500. Obviously, the S&P 500 index is a very good indication of risk sentiment, because this is the US stock market. If people are interested in investing in the US stock market, obviously that would be a risk on environment. Right now, we have seen a local uptrend, like it's very strong. Yeah, exactly. Only if Bitcoin would look like this, that would be insane. Well, it did once upon a time, not too long ago. Not too long ago. The market forgets, but remember, it's only about a year ago. It's only about a year ago. Last summer. Was it last summer? Yeah, last summer. Well, yeah, kind of. 1 year, time flies. Man, I remember when Bitcoin broke 20K. I actually remember, like, it's weird. You're supposed to be remembering lives changing event like getting your first kid and stuff like that. Obviously, I remember that, getting married and stuff like that. I'm not married yet. I'm probably gonna remember that, hopefully. Maybe not. I don't know. Like, depends on what happens, obviously. But when Bitcoin broke 20K, I have a very vivid memory of what I was doing, and I remember the euphoric feelings that I got, because I was, I've been waiting for that fucking 20K to break for. Listen, only about 1,000 days. 1,000 days I've been walking around, is waiting for Bitcoin to like get back above 20K or get above 20K, and it broke. And I remember I'm standing in my basement. I think I just screamed as like a madman in my basement, and my kid came running down, and my fiance kind of like wondering what the fuck's going on. I'm like, Bitcoin broke 20K, and they're looking at me like I'm some weird guy. I'm like, you don't understand. This is huge. You know what I mean? Huge. It's major. My bags are finally not underwater. Huge thing. And yeah. And sadly, not sadly, but I like it broke. And then it broke below. I remember tweeting, I remember the first thing I tweeted when Bitcoin was breaking above 20K, I tweeted, as Bitcoin is probably not going to go below 20K again. Here we are. It's weird. I did not expect that. I really did not expect Bitcoin to kind of go below 20K again. But then, I started adding the reload, so it all became kind of make sense. All right, so let's go through some trade ideas that I have for the day. Or for the week. So a trade idea on the crypto market is like, right now I'm looking for shorts only, right? So right now we're looking for shorts only, and one possible short on Bitcoin. I'm probably not going to be trading it on Bitcoin, because most of the time I do trade Bitcoin, but on an altcoin. So I see a setup on Bitcoin, but I try to look at an entry on an altcoin instead. So I don't know, man. Like, I don't think that's. Yeah, we do have a level here around this area, around the 50% of this move, which kind of makes sense for potential short. But looking at altcoins, we want to we want to see what's going on here. Why is TradingView doing this to me? I don't know what's going on here. There's nothing in my watch list. There's nothing going on here. Do you have anything on this one? Man. Well, it's going to be quite hard for me to do a live stream if I can't get anything to work. All right, so the swing chart layout is working on so let's ignore altcoins. We don't really have a trade on altcoins now anyway. We have to wait till Bitcoin kind of makes a move. But in terms of swing trades in the forex market, we have some really interesting stuff. By the way, guys, I know I've said this already, but if you're a crypto only trader, you should definitely, like, if you're trading based on technicals, you should definitely consider trying out the forex market, because it's not that hugely different. I mean, markets trend, right? So you have trending markets, and you have similar moves in the forex market and altcoin market, including Bitcoin, right? So they're just going to be, in percentage wise, very, very different. Like in the forex market, a 1 or 2% move could be huge, right? But it's all about the risk to reward of the setup, because you're using leverage, and you're using up to 100 times leverage. I believe PrimeXBT is 100 times leverage on forex, and it's not really, as long as you risk a certain amount of your capital on that setup, you're not going to get stopped out. It's not like using 100 times isolated leverage in the crypto space, where you get stopped out on a 1% move. It doesn't really work that way when trading, when your whole account is leveraged like it is on PrimeXBT. So all you have to care about is what is the risk of the setup that you're taking, and make sure that you're only risking a certain percent of your capital on any given setup. So I should definitely recommend that you guys try it out. And of course, trying it out on PrimeXBT is probably the best way of doing it. So I'm watching Euro AUD right here, and I want to see a rejection up in this area for a move lower. That's the setup I'm currently watching, and I'm waiting for the stochastics RSI to come up here. On GBP NCD, we're watching something similar. So at the Euro NCD, we're also watching a possible short setup here on Euro NCD. Let's go to the daily, see if we have something interesting here. Like, I don't really know what exactly I want to see here, but on Euro NCD, we're watching this, right? I want to see a break below that level, perhaps test this support here, and then I would like to go short on a rejection and a retest of that level right here, and that would be the setup. I'm not really sure exactly what I'm looking at, but that's something along these lines. And then we have GBP AUD, which, yeah, that setup is gone. AUD USD, Euro CHF, something interesting going on here. I think AUD USD, we can move to the second list. CAD CHF should be the all right, so this is interesting as well. I've already gotten stopped out on this setup right here, but it's still interesting, right? So it's still something I'm watching for a potential break lower. So I'm going to put an alert right there. CHF JPY looks pretty good. I'm moving that up to the first list. NCD USD. By the way, guys, you can all get access to this orange list. So the list that I'm watching right now, you can all get access to this one, and you'll see which ones I'm currently watching. That's going to be the list number 1, and then my open trades here in the open trades tab. So you can get access to this orange list and this green list right here, and all you have to do is sign up to the newsletter. You can find the link in the description below. Sign up to that newsletter, and I will send out the link to these two watch lists on Friday, right? So this Friday that's coming up. So definitely check that out if you want to get and that it's a public watch list, so you get access to the orange one and the green one, and the green one is the altcoins ones, right? So you get a good idea of what I'm watching on a daily basis, and you can check that out yourself. What about the stock market? Yeah, so the stock market, looking at the S&P 500, this is the stock market, right? So I've already talked a lot about the S&P 500, but what needs to happen is the S&P 500 needs to kind of bounce here around the daily 20 EMA for a possible risk on environment, or at least a initial risk on push to the upside. And if we break above that trend line, we're most likely again in a bull market, which I do not think will happen. All right, let's continue with this one. NCD USD, I'm moving that up to the first list because I like the environment, like what's happening right here. Look at the Euro 50. The stock market is absolutely, like, this is the European stock market, right? The top 50 market cap coins, not coins, stocks. I'm pretty sure. And then I'm not even sure what this is. I'm just trading it, right? I'm pretty like it has to be yeah. I know it is. Never mind. So let's see if we can add a. Yeah, I mean, there's, I don't know, like there's not going to be a trade here, but it's looking very weak. Same with the Japanese index right here. Actually hitting a pretty interesting area right here. Might actually see a possible trade here. So I'm putting that on the one. German 40 looking bit like so. What we're seeing right now is a very clear risk off moves, like very clear risk off moves. So I'm just trying to get a feeling for where there might be a trade this week. And I do think I have a pretty good idea of where we might want to go long or short. USD JPY looking pretty strong. US 30 obviously not looking very strong. Well, the monthly open area here for US 30 might be interesting. So we're going to look at GBP CHF. Yeah, quite kind of like that one. So we're moving that up to the first list as well. So, right, so we have a pretty good list here with Forex pairs that we're watching. And there's probably not going to be any trades right now, or maybe not even today. But that's at least gives you a good overview of what I'm watching today in the markets. And that's it, guys. I just want to do a quick 30-minute update for you guys on the markets. And to recap, we're in most likely a pretty strong, well, not most likely, it's quite obvious that we're in a risk-off environment right here. Bitcoin is suffering. It's not looking very strong. If we break below 20.8, I think we're going to drop much lower, and this might actually be the start of some big moves to the downside. And I do think that this is what I've been waiting for, the break of that uptrend, right? So either we were going to see a continuation of the uptrend to hit that 28k area up above this area, or we break the local downtrend and we start ranging, and we're back in bear territory with the S&P 500 getting rejected at resistance. We're starting a new major downtrend. We're starting a new local downtrend on Bitcoin, and it is what it is. I mean, we're seeing some pretty bearish development in the macroeconomics of things as well. So yeah, it's not surprising that this is happening. We should probably be more geared towards taking trades according to that risk off sentiment. All right, guys, thanks for watching today, and hopefully you guys enjoy these quick live streams where I just give you some updates on what I'm currently watching and what we can expect to trade in the coming days. All right, guys, take care and see you guys in the